Today's question is Can You Be Yourself by text. Like, so the link to the video will be the description below. Go and check them out. So let's into this question in 3, 2, 1.
Greetings, people of Earth. Welcome back. My name is Jax, and today I'm asking the question, can you be yourself? Now, I want to answer this question in a few different scenarios.
Yeah.
The first one is, can you be yourself with yourself? And I guess
Yeah.
this really gets to the root of this question is, do you like yourself, and do you feel as though you are
I like
genuinely who
myself.
you are and who you're meant to be and who you
Yeah.
want to be? I think we all struggle with this, especially at a young
Yeah.
age. We have a real disconnect of who we're supposed to be, who we want to be, and that can be really jarring. As a kid,
Yeah.
I can tell you that I wanted to be the really quiet, cool, mysterious guy that doesn't say
Mysterious.
anything. When he does say something, the whole room just immediately silences because everyone wants to hear what he says. I really wanted to be that mysterious, dark backstory, brooding, cool guy that a lot of
Cool
TV
guy.
shows kind of say that's the real masculine energy kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I quickly learned that I'm not that kind of person. You guys know this. I'm an introvert at heart. I find crowds and public speaking to be kind of terrifying, a little bit jarring.
Yeah.
I
That can
don't
be.
do
Yeah.
it super well, but genuinely, I figured out no, I'm still not that dark brooding guy. I'm very much like a warm and funny and comforting kind of person who loves to make people laugh, loves to make people think, loves to get to those deep conversations. I love to share my life with people, with you guys, and I knew that I was never going to be that dark, mysterious guy. And it took a while to come to this. It took a lot of self reflection and eventually realizing, you know what? I'm fine with who I am. I'm very comfortable. I think being the dark, brooding person really wouldn't suit me very well. Being that mysterious guy that doesn't say much, that was never going to be my vibe. And I'm glad it's not. Although, as a kid, I can tell you that's who I wanted to be.
Oh, really?
And it took a while to really like myself for who I am. Sometimes loud,
Really?
sometimes gregarious, sometimes funny, sometimes,
That can be funny.
ridiculous. And so, yeah, that's the first step, is to really accept who you are and say, you know what?
Yeah.
I don't need to be this figure, this imaginary character who I want to be in my head. I don't have to be this crazy, like, bad boy from, some stupid movie or something. Like I can be me. I don't have to be James
That can
Dean
be me.
or something like that. I can emulate his style or try to in some instances, but I really don't have that ability to be dark and mysterious. And I'm a creature of the light. Like, I like white. I like bright colors. I like good comedy, campy horror movies.
I like bright colors. Yeah.
Like, that's my vibe, and
I also like other movies too.
that's okay. So
Yeah.
part of it is accepting that you like yourself for who you are. The next kind of element to this is how other people see you, how you're perceived.
Yeah.
Um, are you a good person? I think a lot of us ask this question. Am I a good person? Am I
Yeah.
doing the right thing?
Yeah.
Is this action I'm about to do going to be morally correct?
Yeah.
For me, I always think, and this is super
Yeah.
weird, but I always think about my grandparents who are no longer here, and I always ask myself, would they approve of what I'm about to do? And although that's not necessarily the healthiest or the most normal way of looking at yourself and asking if you're a good person, it's one of those things that I just go back to because my
Yeah.
grandparents were so influential in
Yeah.
my youth and formulating me as a person that I'm always wondering, what would what would my grand and grandpa think of who I am and what I do and everything like that. And again, it can be quite a toxic thing because you're constantly thinking, oh man, I'm not living up to this expectation. And you should never feel as though you have to live up to any specific expectation.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those questions of how do you think other people see you? And it can always
Yeah.
be really helpful to ask someone close to you, what do they think of you? You know, and
Yeah.
hopefully they say, "Oh my God, I
True.
love
Yeah.
you."
Yeah.
But then you can get deeper into the conversation and say, "No, no, like, what do you think of me? Like, do you think I'm a good person? Do you think I get angry too quickly? Do you think I'm unreliable? Do you think I'm always late to parties? Do you think I can't hold my alcohol? Like, whatever, you know, just really try and get to the root of what other people see you as. And I think you'll
Yeah.
always be
True.
shocked
Yeah. Yeah.
at how well you're perceived because we're constantly up in our heads asking ourselves, am I a good person? Am I worthy of respect and trust and good judgment?
Yeah.
But when you actually talk to people who are outside of your head, all they see is your actions. All they see is what you say. All they see
Yeah.
is how you present yourself to society, to
Yeah.
everyone in your life.
Yeah.
And I think generally people have a more negative impression of themselves than other people perceive of them. And I think it could be quite healthy to have that confirmed, you know, to ask someone who you love and is close to you, hey,
Yeah.
do you think I'm a good person? Am I doing okay?
Yeah.
And I think 9 times out of 10, unless you ask
You
your
go okay.
greatest enemy or, you know, your little brother, they're going to say, no, I think you're amazing. Like, you go through so much. I think one of the things that really strikes me is I hear from you guys a lot and I get to talk to you and read your emails, read your messages and your comments. And so many times you guys will share your story with me and I'm eternally humbled by sharing your story with me. But you guys are super critical of yourselves. You know, you guys, and I do it too, but we constantly put ourselves down and we critique ourselves and we put ourselves through these like impossible hurdles and trials and tests.
Yeah.
And it's really sad because I read your stories and you guys have survived so much. You guys have done so much. You guys are involved in charities and volunteering and supporting your family and your friends and your sick relatives, your parents, and like you're just genuinely good people. And I think a lot of the time I'll read your message and I'll say, oh my gosh, this person's amazing. And then at the end, you'll say something that's maybe it's supposed to be self-deprecating, but you'll say something like, well, you know, I'm not really worth it, or, you know, you're probably not interested in what I have to say because like I'm a loser or something. And that always breaks my heart because literally, and I'm being so real with you guys. You guys are so amazing. And the stuff you guys have survived and the stuff you guys continue to do, getting up in the morning, dealing with chronic illnesses, dealing with
Yeah.
debilitating situations, and you're still positive, you're still interested in learning about the world and being creative and curious
Yeah.
and generally a positive influence on the planet, makes me feel so good about humanity.
So
My generation is literally called the doomers because we think the whole
The
world's
doomers.
destroyed, we're done, you know, global warming, capitalism, etc., etc. Like my generation has been built from birth to be like depressing as heck. And yet I read your guys' stories and it gives me so much hope for the future and our species, like not just our society, but our species, because there are so many good people who, no matter how many times they're knocked down or hurt, they're genuinely good people. Like you guys are genuinely so inspiring to me. And I just really think it's a shame that you don't see yourself as a good person because my goodness, if you could see what I see, I don't see any of the negative talk going on in your head. All I see is your actions, what you've told me, what you've shared with me. And I gotta say, like I could not write a good enough review that would do your life justice. Like I could not in words explain to you how cool and unique a person you are without you being like, no, you don't know, like that's so wrong. And it's frustrating because I genuinely get to see this every single day. And yeah, so many people just think like, no, I'm not that cool. And I can guarantee that you are. And I can guarantee that despite how you might feel, you still go out and you try your best every day. And
Yeah.
I think that's so impressive because there's a lot of people that don't, and there's a lot of people that aren't here anymore
I do my best every day. Yeah.
because they just felt like, nah, I'm not contributing enough. And then you always see the end of the story where so many people are absolutely devastated that you're not here anymore. So
Yeah.
I think if you have to ask yourself, am I a good person? I think the answer is yes. I think the bad people
Yeah.
don't ask themselves if they're a good person or not. I
I
think the
am a
bad
good person.
people, the really lost souls on the planet are not worried about that question. I think it's only the good people who are out
Yeah.
there making the world a better place who are
Yeah.
constantly going, I just don't think I'm a good person. It's like, if you're asking the question, the answer is probably you are. So that's my 2 cents. I'd really love to hear what you guys have to say. I hope you're having an amazing day, week, century, millennium, whatever you're having. I hope it's amazing. And let me just
Amazing.
say this one last time: you're a good person. You will continue
Yeah.
to be a good person. And you really do inspire me. So thank you so much. And as always, I will talk to you guys tomorrow.
Wow. So what? Can you be usurped by Dex attacks? Wow. Pretty true. Can you can be usurped? Yeah. You can. You can be usurped through that. Yeah. Yeah. The the link to the video will be the description below. Go and check them out and drop a like if you like and comment below if you want to see more reaction like this one. And subscribe if you're new and click bell so you can be notified from an upload. Yeah. I know I'm a good one. You know, I all want to make the world a better place. You know. You know what? Bye.